This episode of DDO Players News is brought to you by the Skull Splitter Dice Company and the brand new Skull Splitter Dice 2020 Frosted Collection over on Kickstarter. Based on feedback from previous Kickstarters, they created 10 Frost matte versions of the 11-piece dice sets we all love from the Skull Splitter Dice Company. These dice sets do have a frosted/matte finish on them. They're not shiny like most dice, and they are not handmade. The clumping and the foil inclusions are going to make each one of these dices unique as a snowflake. Each of the colors for the new dice sets have been carefully handpicked, and each dice set will feature foil inclusions and shimmer glitter that will create a magical appearance in the light. And of course, they feature the Skull Splitter double axle logo that we all love on the 20 on the D20. So check out the brand new Kickstarter by following the link in the show notes for this episode for the Skull Splitter Dice 2020 Frosted Collection. And once again, thank you very much for the fine folks over at Skull Splitter Dice for bringing you DDO Players News.
Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news of DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Everything is, well, going about as fine as it can, but...
Well, 2020 and all.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody will be happy to see the back of this year.
Ravenloft this week was a humbug. Humbug, I say. Humbug.
It was a humbug. What, they're all trying to put in some Yuletide cheer or something?
As a matter of fact, yes. I had to deal with a reverse centaur invasion that was trying to spread Christmas cheer.
A reverse centaur invasion?
They're abominations, Pineleaf. Abominations, and they need to not spread their Christmas cheer. So I had to fight that invasion all week.
Yeah, well...
I'm telling you, reverse centaurs. Watch out for them. They're evil, and they're abominations.
All right. Well, at least it wasn't elves, right?
True, because the gnomes and the elves don't get along, so yes.
Okay.
Because, the elves comes in, they try to kidnap the gnome girls, and then it's just a whole big thing.
Causing chaos in an already chaotic land, yes.
Right,
understood.
Exactly.
Well then, let's go and have a look at the news, which there really isn't much news because of, well, Christmas season and all, but we do have our final chronicle of the year, I guess it is?
It is indeed. Yes, at the end of the chronicle, Jerry states, hey, there's not going to be a chronicle the rest of the year. So yes, this is the issue number 407 of our DDO Chronicle. So that's a lot of chronicles.
And that's a Feywild shot. That looks like... see,
definitely Feywild.
It's definitely Feywild in there. I remember that quest.
It's apparently one that I haven't done yet. So
I think it's the next one we'll be doing.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I'm excited because I haven't done a lot of Feywild stuff. So
okay.
I'm excited to jump back in the community spotlight of our DDO Chronicle. DDO Cast interviews Fables of the Feywild composer and SSG employee Bill Champagne. You can watch or listen to the interview over on ddocast.com. And a little heads up for you, coming in the new year, we too will be having an interview with Bill Champagne. So stay tuned for our version of the interview as well. I have not listened to DDO Cast interview yet because I don't want to spoil myself, and I'm trying not to ask the same questions. So we'll see if we succeed on not asking him the same questions, but we'll see.
Now, are we going to be asking him questions for both games or just this game?
It's going to be both games.
Okay, because...
And it's going to be a dual release. It's going to be released on both sites, DDO players and Lotro players.
Oh.
It's the first ever crossover podcast episode.
All right, that'll be an interesting...
Something to look forward to in 2021. Exactly.
Very well.
And then we have our guild hall, which doesn't have a guild right now. So if you're looking for new people to join your guild, you can send an email with your guild name, your server, and a bit about your group to DDO@standingstone.com. StandingStoneGames.com, subject line Guild Hall, and they will get your guild featured in the Chronicle, and you can get some more people to join your guild. Also, don't forget you can nominate a player for the Player Spotlight as well. Send email to contact@StandingStoneGames.com with Player Spotlight as the subject, and talk about a player you think should be spotlighted, and that might show up in the Chronicle as well. Of course, we have the fan site news section of our Chronicles. We got a shout out for our last episode where we counted with numbers.
Well, that's because we've got we have the count as a host, right?
That's right, exactly. That's right. So click over to see what that witty title was that I came up with. I'm telling you, folks, naming these episodes are hard. Because we're what, at the 277th episode of this podcast, and sometimes I struggle to find a good witty title. What are you going to do? The Damsels of DDO have the latest news about all the games they love and more. So check out their latest episode over on their website, damselsofddo.com. Don't forget about DDO Stream. You can find all of your DDO goodness over on the official Twitch channel for DDO, which of course is DDO Stream. D&D Nights find an Oracle of War. Doug Glendower is deciding not to sleep. And Brock and friends appreciate elves. That all over on DDO Stream. Elsewhere on Twitch, Newbie Carabra gets a world first. Samus Garobo follows the sub chat. And Brackart reincarnates. Don't forget about YouTube. Lots of people playing DDO over on YouTube as well. Sophia plays, slays, say that a couple times fast. DEC Gaming explores Stormreach, and the gamer Darius is running Temple of Elemental Evil.
And of course, also on YouTube is I am running Feywild, right?
That's right. We need to try to get that in the Chronicle somehow. I will make that happen. That is one of my goals for 2021, to get you in the Chronicle for your Feywild play.
Oh, by that time the series will be over.
True, but maybe you'll have another. I'll make it happen anyway. We'll see. I have connections, finally. And then we have our Chronicle comment, which is very apropos for the time. Which Festival cookie would taste the best?
Think I remember the Festival cookies?
I was waiting for some kind of answer like that from you. Either that, I was half expecting you to say, there's Festival cookies? Which actually was my thinking what you were going to say, but yes.
Well, I have heard of them.
Okay. They are, I will give you some examples just off the top of my head, the ones that I can actually remember. I should have, been like a professional podcaster and looked this up, but no.
But there seems to be a large number of them, it looks like.
There is. There's like the Black Abbot, there's a Green Abishai cookie, there's a Succubus cookie, there's a Lamania cookie, the Shabarath cookie. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but each one kind of does something different.
But some people say that the Rizia cookie is cool, right?
I see. I see what you did there. Yeah, it would be minty fresh, probably.
Yeah, it'd probably be minty fresh.
There you go. The Black Abbot cookie would taste like licorice, so there you go. And then elsewhere, what do we have? We have our screenshot of the week. That's what we have to talk about in the Chronicle. This is Eric's enjoying the first flakes of snow in the Winwood Hall. A lot of words. 491st DDO screenshot of the week. Thanks to Eric's for sending that in. There you go. That's our Chronicle.
That's flakes of snow at Winwood Hall?
It's Festival. There's snow everywhere.
Okay, I guess because I'm just thinking, what, at Winwood Hall, isn't that supposed to be the summer court?
Well, suspension of disbelief in Festival, Pineleaf. Come on.
Okay. Well,
the jester can do anything, Pineleaf.
Apparently so. He has power over the Fae.
That's not easy.
Let's go and see what's on the tabletop. where apparently badge registration and event submission for Gen Con 2021 has been pushed back. I wonder why.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, shocker. Hasn't been canceled, though. Pushed back. What they're doing is normally about the beginning of January, you can get your badges, and then you can do event submission, and then usually end of April, beginning of March, you can actually sign up for events and all that fun stuff. And as you get ready for Gen Con, not so fast because of COVID.
Well,
as we know, COVID-19 pretty much wiped out all the conventions of 2020. I think there was 2 gaming conventions that actually happened, maybe 1. Wasn't many. There wasn't many conventions, period, last year.
And were they before March or something?
Yes, they were way early in the year.
All right, yeah.
So there was a couple, but pretty much
a couple of winter convention, early winter, or I should say, early year winter conventions.
Yes.
Not much else on that.
If it wasn't early in 2020, you didn't have a convention, at least in person. There was a bunch of virtual conventions, but who wants to talk about virtual conventions? We want a real convention. So we'll see.
We'll see. I will not place any bets on there being a Gen Con 2021, but
I don't have high hopes. But we'll see. Gen Con LLC did say they are planning, as of right now, to host a live event, Gen Con 2021. They don't have any idea of how this is going to happen yet. They're kind of waiting and see what goes on, but we'll see. They're just kind of, feeling it out and see what the general environment of 2021 looks like. They did post in a newsletter and over on their site as well. As we approach the winter holidays and the end of the, let's say, less than ideal year, where that's an understatement.
Yes.
We're looking ahead to the future and know you have some questions that are about our plans for 2021. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's nothing is certain, and that our lives are even more interconnected than ever before. We don't take for granted the magic of gathering in mass with all of you in Indianapolis each summer, and we can't wait to do it again. Will that happen this August? In all honesty, we don't know, but we really hope so. Our goal for the new year is to hold Gen Con 2021 as planned in person in Indianapolis from August 5th through the 8th. We're working towards that objective with health and safety as our top priority. A variety of factors must come together for a physical convention to even be feasible, and we're carefully monitoring local and national safety and travel guidelines, health data, resource availability, and the advice of our finest sages, scientists, and sorcerers. Well, you got to cover all your bases. So
apparently so.
Considering this uncertainty, we are postponing badge registration and event submission until we have a better idea of how the year will hold. We'll announce new dates as soon as we can, and you should expect more updates in the next couple months. To keep up on the latest news, you can subscribe to the newsletter, follow them on social media, or just go visit our site because I'll post about it when they post news. So there you go. Your friends at Gen Con, and they wished us all happy holidays as well. So yeah, I'm right now going to say it's a 70% chance it's actually going to happen.
Ooh, you're optimistic.
A little bit. I think it really depends. There's a lot of factors, the biggest factor being the whole vaccine thing. Like, how quickly can we in mass get vaccinated? How many people are going to get vaccinated? And that brings up a whole other question. If you try to get a badge at Gen Con, are you going to have to prove that you got vaccinated? Is that going to be a thing? So can non-vaccinated people be able to go, or is it only vaccinated? See, it could be a thing, right?
Yeah, and that could present some problems if you try to enforce that.
So yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm 70% at this point, but we'll see. I really, in my heart of hearts, still think it's going to happen, but we'll see. If it does, I'll be there.
We could only wish a little bit of luck, or a little bit better than Drac luck.
Exactly. There you go. That's what we all need right now.
Better than Drac luck. Let's then go and see what's on the screen. So in the virtual world, I guess we should say, where Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection heading to Nintendo Switch. And what exactly is Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection?
It is a quote-unquote reboot of the Ghosts and Goblins game, which, of course, everybody knows what it is. Please tell me you've at least heard of Ghosts and Goblins.
Never
I know you've
heard of it.
Oh, my God, Pineleaf. This is the Goonies 2.0. Oh, my God, Pineleaf.
Now, was Ghosts and Goblins maybe a console-only game?
No, it was in the arcades as well. It was it got, I think, more famous. I guess that's how I would have worded it on consoles.
Yeah, you got to remember, I really didn't have any high-end consoles because I was always PC based on my gaming. And arcades, it's like I'm going to spend my money in arcades.
All right, okay. Well, besides you, everybody else is excited about this.
Okay.
Me included. Shut up and take my money right now, Nintendo. Capcom's Ghosts and Goblins, of course. In Ghosts and Goblins, for Pineleaf, who doesn't know what it is, you would run through levels. You were a knight called Arthur. You were battling all sorts of undeads and other various monsters. You just kept going. You would run, you would jump, you would throw javelins, you would do all sorts of stuff. It was extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. It was kind of known for its difficulty, actually.
Oh, okay. No, meaning do you had to actually have something called coordination in order to have any chance to get far with it?
Indeed.
Oh, in which case I would be completely out on that one.
So, yes, as I said, Capcom is calling this a reboot, which kind of scares me a little bit. It does include a new storybook-like presentation for the game, and the game is going to keep true to its roots with some brutal-looking difficulty if you look at the announcements trailer and hordes of familiar enemies. So join Arthur as he suits back up one more for Ghost and Goblins Resurrection, coming exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. February 25th, 2021 is the release date.
Now, is this exclusiveness permanent, or is this like a one-year exclusive contract, or what?
As of right now, it's permanently exclusive to the Switch.
Okay.
As of this recording, they have no plans to bring this anywhere else but the Switch.
All right.
That might change down the road. They never said, this is only going to, but right now they're just saying exclusively to the Switch only.
In other words, they have not released that detail of the contract.
They're kind of waiting to see how well this sells.
Yeah, that's always another possibility.
And then they're like, hey, I think Xbox people would want to play this, or PlayStation people would want to play this. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. Ghost and Goblins is one of my favorite games of all time. So.
And also on the screen, Evil Dead the game is coming 2021.
Again, shut up and take my money. You had me at Evil Dead game. That's all you had to say. When I saw the trailer and the words Evil Dead game came on the screen, I'm like, here's my credit card. When is it coming out? I don't even care what it is. Give it to me now. Yes, the Evil Dead game is going to see you work together as a team of 4 survivors. You're going to explore, you're going to loot, you're going to craft, you're going to manage your fear, and you're going to find key artifacts to seal the breach between the worlds. You can take control of powerful Cadrian demons to hunt Ash and his friends while possessing deadites, the environment, and even the survivors themselves as you seek to swallow their souls. So you can either play as the bad guys or you can play as the good guys. Plenty of other surprises are going to await in this gore-filled battle against evil that captures the characters, the horror, the humor, and the action of the Evil Dead franchise. You got to battle across memorable locations, including, of course, the infamous cabin in the woods, brought to life with tons of terrifying visuals and all-new dialogue from Mr. Bruce Campbell himself. Discover more than 25 weapons, including Ash's gauntlet, his boomstick, chainsaw, and advance a variety of skill trees to grow even stronger as you survive in either co-op or a PvP experience. Evil Dead the game will release sometimes in 2021. Very vague there. Sometime in 2021.
Sometime between January 1st and December 31st.
Right. We'll see. In 2021, we'll see this game. It's going to be on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and also PC. A more specific launch date or window has yet to be announced. Stay tuned. As soon as that information is available, I will let you guys know. But again, shut up and take my money.
So it sounds like then that if you want to play both this and our previous game, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, you'll need 2 consoles then.
Well, I've got the Xbox One.
Okay.
I've got the PC. I've got the Nintendo Switch.
All right.
I'm good for both games.
Okay.
Either way I want to go on this one. Do I want to go PC? Do I want to go Xbox One? Choices.
Then that means it's time for us to look at our week in gaming. Where I am sure Drac has loads of stuff that he's done, right?
No, but I did actually play some games, which is, I think, a first in probably 4 episodes, maybe 5 episodes.
Oh, that's a switch.
Oh, I see what you did there, Pineleaf. I see what you see. Pineleaf made a good joke with the show notes, which you can't see right now, but after this episode is up, you can see why he made the Switch joke. Because every game I played was on the Nintendo Switch. And it's actually, they're all for reviews as well. They are Chronos Before the Ashes. Wow. Freudian slip. Let's try that again. Chronos Before the Ashes. Say that several times fast. This is a atmospheric RPG. You are chronicling a hero's lifelong quest to save his homeland from a great evil. You will grow wiser and stronger and more powerful as you explore the depths of the mysterious labyrinth. But you have to be careful. The labyrinth is a very dangerous place, and every time your hero dies, you use a year of your life.
Oh, fun. So, and are you going to be running into a monstrous minotaur in that labyrinth?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I'm going to keep it vague. Maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, it's. I have never seen a game that uses quite the aging mechanic like this. Really, every time you die, you age a year, and then you must adapt your aging into your player progression because your character changes a little bit because you're older. As in, when you start the game, you're a young person, young lad, we'll say. And you're a little more nimble and you're a little more quick. And then as you age, you slowly start to get a little more slow and less nimble. But you get a little more wise and you're a little more attuned to things because you've got some years under your belt. So it's interesting, the aging mechanic to it. But.
Well, maybe what it represents is after you get killed, it takes you a year to heal from all those wounds.
It might be. It might be. But yeah, so look for a review at some point over on the site. I'm still playing it, so I'm enjoying it. Other game I played was called Death Tales. This is a pretty fun game. This speaking of Ghosts and Goblins, kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It kind of had that feel to it. You play as a Reaper that's gone rogue, so you're collecting equipment, you're learning spells, you're learning attacks against hordes of enemies. So it's kind of like a side scroller, and you're picking things up, you're learning things, you're advancing things. So it's a 2D adventure type side scroller game. I saw glimpses of like Ghosts and Goblins in it, so I think it's like a little slight nod to that. I don't know if that was their actual intention, but pretty fun. It's got 30 levels as it in it, and it's got a couple different Reaper characters you can play. So once again, review coming for that soon as well. And then the final game I played, of course, on the Switch. Like I said, everything I played was on the Switch this week, because I could do it from the comfort of my couch. I didn't have to leave my couch. I could just either look at the Switch or I could look at the screen, which most of these I did play actually on the TV, but some of them I played on the Switch. This one I actually played on the Switch itself. It's called My Aunt is a Witch. Yes, My Aunt is a Witch. This is a visual novel. So if you're familiar with visual novels, it sounds exactly what it is. It's a story that you play through that is a novel you're reading. You make choices. Your choices will affect the outcomes of what can happen. I'm probably about halfway through it, I think, just I can tell about like kind of how the stories progress. I played a lot of visual novels, so I kind of think I'm about halfway through it, but kind of a little cute, whimsical game.
Now, when you say a visual novel, is this something similar to the old Infocom style games or the King's Quest series, or is this something completely
I would say it's
style?
more related to like King's Quest, because there's like you will have like, you know, almost like a page out of a book on the screen, and stuff will be happening, and then you'll get the little story, and then you'll have a choice that you can make, like what you want to do based on, you know, and then some of those choices will depend on your previous choices you've made in the game. So.
Okay, so then it sounds more like those choose an adventure or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
more like
think of it as
adventure type.
Yeah, think of it as a choose your own adventure, but a little more beefier choose your own adventure, kind of. And each visual novel is a little different as well, but and this one is very, I can tell, aimed more at like a kid type crowd. So it's enjoyable. I'm enjoying it so far. But like I said, look for a review of this coming soon as well. And that was all I did. Coming up, as you're listening to this, this is going to release before this actually airs live. This Sunday night, which would be December 27th, you can tune in to DDO Stream. It's D&D night on DDO Stream, and we are going to do some classic D&D. So we're going to be playing classic old school D&D. So make sure you check that out. It starts at 7 p.m. Sunday, December 27th. If you're listening to this within the next few days after this is out, if you're listening to this after that date, you can go back and watch the video.
Maybe I could remember and actually catch it this time, seeing how this is one of the few Sundays where I'm free.
There you go. 7 p.m. D&D stream on Twitch.
Now, concerning my aunt is a witch, I was just wondering whether this is that like a Wiccan witch, a Harry Potter witch, a demonic witch?
Definitely not a demonic witch.
Okay.
It's more of like a family friendly, I'm a witch and I do tricks witch.
A bed knobs and boomstick.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Broomsticks. Okay.
More of the Disney type witch.
Okay.
There has been, like I said, I'm about halfway through the game. There has been nothing scary or evil or anything. I mean, other than, of course, some people would consider being a witch evil, but this is definitely your happy, friendly, family-friendly witch.
Okay, then I'll head into my week then.
Yeah, because I'm done.
We're in DDO. I continued my Alchemist in the Feywild, where I ran Immortality Lessons. Immortality Lessons is the final quest of the storyline for the Feywild series. Now that does not finish the saga for me, because first of all, there are those 3 quests that I need to repeat because I did them before the saga was released.
Oh, yep, that's all right.
So that was always But on top of that, I have a couple of walk-up quests that I've not done yet. There are a couple of quests that aren't part of the main storyline that are on top of that. So I have to go out and do them. I managed to do one of them, which is combating corruption. So I finished that one also. I tried looking for another one, and for the life of me, I can't figure out how to get. There is this block of area in the Feywild where I just can't figure out how in the world do you get there? Because every single path I've tried, it's just blocked. I mean,
You'll have to show me this place, and
all right, yeah,
we'll
because
see.
the Feywild has a couple of locations that are really, really difficult to get up to, and I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to get there. Maybe I'll make another attempt tonight and see if I can find it. But because right now I think I have the 3 I said about earlier, and I think there are 2 more quests I need. So a total of 5 in order to finish up the saga in there. So that's what I'm working on now in DDO. Then on tabletop, first off, I played a large number of playings of Welcome to, and the reason for that is I decided to try out all 10 of the AI opponents that they have in the advanced AI in there. I don't know how familiar you are with Welcome to.
I've watched some people play it online and stuff, but I've never actually played it myself.
Right. All right. So there are 2 printings of it. The original printing of it had only a basic solo mode, while last year they released a separate release which included a more interesting solo mode. So what happened is they had a new printing this year, and which includes that as part of the package in there. And I decided, let's see how I do playing against all 10 of those solo modes. And I had played the 2 weakest ones a couple of times in the past, so this is my first time though trying to play all of them. So of course the weaker ones I've gotten good enough at Welcome to that I was able to pretty much easily get by them. But of course they got tougher and tougher as I went up. But I did better in the series than I thought. I thought by the time I got to number 4, I was going to get crushed into the ground or something like this. But I actually won 6 out of the 10 games that I played in here, which I thought was decent record considering that most of them were the first times I played against that level in there. But boy, those highest tier solo AIs, they are rough in there. But I had a good deal of fun, and so I played obviously up as many as 10 of those that managed to play in there. I might have done one or two of them the previous week on there, but all right, 10 rounds of Welcome to. And then I played Hoplomachus Origins, and it's been a while since I played Hoplomachus Origins. The idea there is I entered into the arena. I decided to try the second solo challenge in there, going against Xanadu and see how I do it, and I won that game. Maybe I should have done a slightly tougher scenario, but I figured it was maybe 2 years since I played Origins, so I thought maybe I should not have the toughest opposition when I go into there.
I still say Hoplomachus sounds like a disease that you get. Something you don't want your doctor to hear. I'm sorry, you have Hoplomachus.
Well, you already used that title though, but remember.
I know, I did. Wow, Pineleaf remembered a podcast episode from like a long time ago. Wow. I'm impressed, Pineleaf.
And yeah, well, actually what Hoplomachus meant is that was a class of gladiator that was designed to emulate a Greek hoplite.
Okay. I knew it had something to do with gladiators, but I didn't know quite the extent of that. Okay.
Yes. Well, what happened is when the Romans
always... Hold on.
Okay.
And now a history lesson with Pineleaf.
It was going to be that long, but the idea there is that the Romans, when they named their classes of gladiators, they usually had these fanciful names because they modeled them after some sort of style of combat or something like that. So they had one. So they would have one that would use trident and net, for example. One that, of course, used Hoplomachus would be spear and shield. And essentially, if they defeated a type of enemy that did reasonably well in combat, they probably came up with a class of gladiator that was based on how they fought, if it was distinctive enough.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so they'd like to do things like that.
Just that has been your weekly update to the Pinepedia.
And that's it for my week in gaming this week. Except we're ignoring Lotro and stuff like that. We currently have 16 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, you can go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you would like to donate with that using Patreon, you could email Drek at ddoplayers.com. We actually have a featured comment from Alex on the revenue numbers released from EG7. What did Alex say?
He says, because I had commented that, I was kind of surprised at some of these numbers. And he says, I'm not that surprised. You consider VIP is basically $10 a month. Season pass holder adds more to that. You add an expansion every 1.5 years or so for a minimum of 40, but often about 120. You can add in random point purchases along the way, and you get to those numbers pretty fast, actually, which that's a good way of looking at it. I mean, if you look at all of that together, those numbers do add up quickly. So thanks, Alex, for commenting over on the site. I was excited to see a comment on the site. It's been a while since somebody commented, and I was like, whoa, we have a comment. Whoa.
Yes, but unfortunately, no emails. But if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us on Twitter. The Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Dracula at Dracula_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. UC time. We have DDO Players News, which, remember, next week is our New Year's special. Or I guess it's a wave the year goodbye special, since it's an end-of-year special, really.
Yeah, the year-end review and all sorts of shenanigans.
All sorts of shenanigans. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locha Players News. You can join our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. So remember to join us next week for our year of end review and find out how we did on our goals and what we thought of this crazy, ridiculous, exasperating year.
Spoiler alert, not very well, and it sucked.
And that's it for tonight, and this is Five Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.
This episode of DDO Players News was brought to you by the Skull Splitter Dice Company and the brand new Skull Splitter Dice 2020 Frosted Collection over on Kickstarter. Based on feedback from previous Kickstarters, they created 10 Frost matte versions of the 11-piece dice sets we all love from the Skull Splitter Dice Company. These dice sets do have a frosted/matte finish on them. They're not shiny like most dice, and they are not handmade. The clumping and the foil inclusions are going to make each one of these dices unique as a snowflake. Each of the colors for the new dice sets have been carefully handpicked, and each dice set will feature foil inclusions and shimmer glitter that will create a magical appearance in the light. And of course, they feature the Skull Splitter double X logo that we all love on the 20 on the D20. So check out the brand new Kickstarter by following the link in the show notes for this episode for the Skull Splitter Dice 2020 Frosted Collection. And once again, thank you very much for the fine folks over at Skull Splitter Dice for bringing you DDO Players News.